Hey, what's up Shakerbers, and welcome back to the channel. And in today's video, I want to share with you 5 tips on improving your breeding success. The first one is to get to the right pH level. And why did we choose pH level as one of the elements to talk about amongst the water parameters? Throughout our years of breeding, we have realized that pH is one of the influential water parameters that impacts breeding in a very, very large way. It's not KH, it's not GH, it's not really much about temperature, which we can actually measure and test and influence easily, but pH is something that is always out of our control in the sense that it is being determined by the soil that you use. And getting to the right pH levels will determine whether your streams breed or not. For example, for crystal streams, we always breed them below pH of 6. Not because that they do not breed well above 6, we see huge success below 6. We have done this test side by side where we have one tank with pH of 6 and one tank with pH of 5.5. And the level, the amount of breeding that the tank with pH of 5.5 is significantly more compared to the one with pH of 6. And if you are breeding OEs, orange eyes and tigers and the likes, they prefer a higher pH between 6 to 6.5. So that's the very first one. Next is about keeping the water parameters stable. I think you guys have heard a lot of this, keeping water parameters stable. But what does it really mean? Does it mean that it's only keeping the water parameters stable in the tank? It's actually not just in the tank, but the source of the water that is going into the tank that is important as well. What does that mean? It means that the water source that you have been using, for example, is it RODI, DI, bottled water, tap water, or any of this water that is going to be used in the tank during a water change, that has to be kept stable as well. What we don't want happen is that you have a water source of pH of generally at 6 or 7, and you found out one day that during a water change that your water source has a pH of 9. That increase is significant, and that significant increase will actually alter the water that goes into the tank. Yes, it may fluctuate a little bit, the soil will work a little bit harder to compensate the high pH to bring it down. That alone will cause some disturbance, and that's the reason why do not only test the parameters in the tank, test the water parameters out of the tank, meaning that test your water source as well. So that's number 3. And number 2, so the next part, number 3, is really about maintaining the right male to female ratio 1:5. Why is it 1:5? And the reason behind it is very simple. We have tried 2, 3, 4 males in a tank with similar number of females. That causes a lot of issues with it, breeding issues. And breeding issues occur when there are extra males in the tank. It creates conflict. So with the 1:5 ratio, it creates peace in the tank. And females will not be so harassed. They will not be bothered by too many males in the tank. So they can actually breed in peace. So keeping that 1:5 ratio is great. That requires a bit more skill in a way that you have to remove the males and put it into another tank if there's too many males. So here's the kicker. You will need to identify a way on how you actually remove the male and identify them. One easy method that for beginners you can actually use this method is during a female molting season or a breeding cycle. You can see a lot of males like flying around, swimming around quickly. That is a great time to actually remove the males from the tank, because you don't have to really second guess, is this a male? Is this something that we should remove? When they are flying around the tank, then you can actually take the opportunity to actually remove it. So that's step number 3. Step number 4 is that once you have the breeding cycle right, you have the water parameters right, you have the pH right, you have most of the things right. The fourth one is to leave them alone. It's very simple, but one of the most difficult part of it is leaving them alone. And what do I mean by leaving them alone is really to stop disturbing the tank constantly, stop touching their tanks, stop arranging the things in the tank. Do not over monitor as well. You can actually look them from afar like a normal tank. You do not have to come right up close like this to look at them. Do not stress them. Do not cause stress to the streams just because you are overzealous and you want to actually look them up close and see what they are doing. You don't have to do that, right? Sometimes doing less is more, and let nature take its course. So that's point number 4. And the very last point, which is also one of the critical elements and aspects to having better breeding cycle, breeding chances, is to provide a high quality nutrition feeding schedule. What we do over here is that apart from Calyx ball that we have used in the tank, if time permits, what we will do is to feed them with baby dust alternate days. And why alternate days is because we do feed a lot in the tank at one time. So it actually gives them time to actually consume over the next 2 days. So every 2 days they actually do require feeding. And we have done tests in the tank where we have like tanks with green wall and we feed them as well. The reason why some of the shrimps are feeding at the green wall is about grazing. The natural behavior of shrimps is constant grazing. Where there's insufficient food, they will go around grazing whatever that is available. And that's the reason why when we look at it, we started feeding them, for example, in the day. In the morning, we feed once. They come down from the green wall, they consume them. And by the time they go back to the green wall, it's usually a day and a half later. And that's the reason why we try to schedule our feeding once every 2 days for baby dust. And if you have a lot of shrimps in the tank, you have a lot of babies, you can see the babies are coming, buried females are there. This is a great time to feed them additional food. For example, if you feed alternate days of baby dust, so in between them, you can feed a little bit, meaning that you do not feed a very high dose or high amount or large amount of feed on the days that you don't feed baby dust. You can still feed them like Breeder Select. You give them a little bit of additional supplement to tide them through the time before the next real feeding. And that is how we actually monitor and help to create more breeding cycles today in our breeding facility. So these 5 tips is simple yet powerful. It's a way to help you, help your tanks and help yourself set up a great breeding success. Remember that creating the right environment is more important than getting to the right parameters. We want to have the right parameters, but it's more important to create the right environment, because chasing numbers is not going to help you. But creating the right environment will help you and help your colony thrive and succeed over the long term. So if you have enjoyed this video, please remember to share, like, and subscribe to this channel, and I'll see you in the next one.